Welcome to the shack. We're about to rock. We got the Deacon, 2 and Deezy. Dr. Deezy, how about you? Stories from the shack.
I really envy you guys that can really make. I play bass guitar, stretching the definition. It doesn't sound like music. I can guarantee you that. But I just like to fool around. I like to look at the tab sheets. Play along. But anyway, I'll never be able to play.
I mean, that's all. That's where it starts.
Yeah. If we're dropping little chunks of wisdom, I'm sure I saw this in a meme somewhere or something. But I don't play music because I think I'm great at it. I play music because I think music's great.
Yeah.
I feel like a poser next to these guys. I really do. I probably have the least amount of experience in the group. I've known Ben for what's it been? 15 years at this point, something like that. Yeah. When I think of Ben, it's just as a tag onto the person I know is just he's a guitar player. So, and Jay, music is how I met him. So, I just try to put forth the best effort I can when I'm dealing with these guys. So I have a lot to learn. There's always more to learn. So to your point, there's no right or wrong place to start and
or to keep doing.
Yeah, it's an ever evolving landscape.
I didn't really pick up the bass until was I almost 40?
Yeah, I think you were 39.
Yeah, I mean, not that I had never played a bass before, but I draw a distinction between playing a bass, being a bass player, and being a bassist. And I think I went several years playing weekly in a band before I said, okay, I'm probably a bassist now. Just because I think it's a way of thinking. I mean, I think anybody can make a sound on an instrument, right? Most people, if they spend any amount of time, can make a pattern on it. I think if you gave somebody a couple of weeks and some direction on a bass, if you were not expecting much out of them, if you only needed them to grab a root note behind chords or something like that, not that that's not an important thing to do. It is, but I think you could get someone there in a couple of weeks. Sure. But to really to think and speak in the language, I think is different. And it's the last instrument I picked up. I started off a drummer, and I was a guitarist for most of my, for most of the time that I played music. And then, I dabbled before our last band, but we probably should tell the story of how you and I met, huh?
Yeah, it was we used to rehearse at my house years ago, 7 or 8 years ago when we met. Mm-hmm. And our bass player at the time in the band that we were in, the band that I was in, moved to Tennessee, and we needed a new bass player. So our drummer called 2 guys, called Jeremiah and someone else, and I had no idea that they were both coming the same day. And so it was kind
Tryouts.
of the
other bassist and I had been. I mean, we still were close friends, but we had been. He lived at my house for some amount of time. Knew his family quite well. We both played along with that drummer in a different project where I was playing guitar, he was playing bass. So it's like we were very familiar with each other. So yeah, showing up in the driveway at the same time, like, whoa, what you doing here?
pretty bizarre.
I think that's because the drummer wasn't sure if either one of us would show up.
Yeah, show up.
Yeah. He was hedging bets,
casting a wide.
Yeah, exactly. And Jeremiah at the time, the other guy was sort of needed, some camaraderie and to be in a band. And he said afterwards, for the record, I picked Jeremiah, and the other 2 I think did too. But the other bass player, he needed some camaraderie. I think it was.
And the other thing that I had mentioned at the time was I wasn't sure I could make the time commitment either.
True. I do.
So I mean, whether they were picking me or not, I would think I was still kind of like, Other guys in a spot to do this for you, and I don't know if I am.
And it didn't work out with him, to say the least. That's a story for a different time.
But you probably heard the story about Ringo Starr, Beatles, right?
Mm-mm.
He wasn't the original drummer.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Didn't know
yeah.
that.
I didn't do that.
And Paul McCartney wasn't a bassist. They needed a
Right.
bass player, so he just started playing bass.
Yep.
So I mean, that's how it happens in music.
And as he says, nobody wants to be the bass player because we think that's just the fat guy at the back of the stage. And boy, am I working on it.
Yeah.
I never viewed them that way, but I understand what you're saying.
I haven't either, but I mean, I think
Yeah.
that can be an easy thing that happens. What boy, especially, I mean, maybe this is one of the reasons why I'm not crazy about angling our band toward some of the faster heavy music that I used to listen to, is because that was just hand the bass to the worst guitarist in the band, right? That happened a lot back in the 80s and 90s of like, okay, well, you're not going to cut it on. We got one or two guitarists who can really rock out. You're a bassist now.
Sorry.
And which leads to a guy never really learning his instrument because he's not committed to it. He's not writing music on it.
Well, I once heard that every bass player should play Sgt. Pepper's from start to finish.
Interesting.
I've never heard that.
I can't remember. I think it was in Bass Magazine I read several years ago or something. I forget, he was some well-known bass player.
I'm sure there's going to be an album for each generation. That's the one you got to play all through. Now there's probably 75 that you got to play through because everything's splintered.
Yeah.
And we don't have a shared musical culture at all anymore.
Yeah.
So there will never be a thing like the shared experience of Sgt. Pepper's. Again,
You really think that's done?
I do. It's too, like Ethan said, it's too easy to splinter off and find your tribe, and we don't have things that we don't. There's no Simpsons where whether you liked the cartoon or not, it was going to be on in the house and everybody shared that as an experience. We're all on our own algorithm on our phone,
Exactly.
being fed exactly this stuff. So I don't have to experience the world that he does because his phone gives him a completely different social world.
Tailored exactly to my.
There are good things about this. There are. I'm going to wax political here, probably in my way, but it's a good thing in as much as like, and the kids in the small town who were the only kid like themselves, whether fill in whatever thing that would be, they're the only ones that listen to that style of music, or they feel like they're the only gay kid in town, whatever that thing is. It's at the click of a button they found 7 million just like them, and it's easy, and then it's easy to just only blind yourself right into that, right down that lane and rarely have to step out of it. And so anytime you are forced out of that lane, I think we've got, this is where I start sounding like a stubborn old man, but I think that starts to get you to the spot where every time you have to wander out of that lane, it's very painful because you've not had to build up the calluses of just being in this shared society that we've always had.
So in a way, everyone's got their blinders on so much to their own little niche genre of living, almost.
And myself included.
Yeah. I'm definitely in there too. But so that's why nothing, that big culturally will ever happen again because everyone's too,
the closest thing we've had recently is the World Cup. Do you know how much I've watched of any World Cup?
Yeah.
Not a minute of a match.
No.
I don't care about it. 30 years ago, it would have been on all 3 of the farmer channels, and we'd all had to have watched Mexico play somebody.
Right.
I haven't watched a Super Bowl in its entirety for years.
Yeah.
It used to be, what else are you going to do? It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not saying that that's necessarily a plus that we all shared those things as our culture, but we did share them, and I don't think we'll ever have those again. I don't want to be down on the musical industry. We're not gonna break through and quit our jobs. Like that's not
It's not going to happen.
a thing that happens.
If you're not doing it for yourself first, then you
Right.
shouldn't even
No.
be doing it.
And that was true even when 1 out of 1,000
Sure.
did manage to support themselves. But
Well, the thing that we need to understand, I don't care what profession you find yourself in. For example, you look at successful music groups or gears. They're doing it because they love to do it. The
Mhm.
money's a byproduct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you love it and you do it enough, he'll take care of you.
Yeah.
In the end. Not necessarily with money, but
No.
with satisfaction or accomplishment or whatever. And those are things that make us human. Those are the traits that separate us from anything else in the world.
Sure.
That we have the ability, the God-given mind to make those decisions, to be able to pick up an instrument and read a note and play that instrument, whether it be the drum, guitar, whatever. I find joy and pleasure in that.
yeah.
And that's the beauty of music. It crosses all boundaries.
Honestly, even live music, I think in the last band we had a couple of gigs that we played that paid us out reasonably well.
Decent, yeah.
Those were flukes.
Yeah, they really
I
were.
Now when we play, I think this band has a little bit more of a, what's the line from Spinal Tap? Our appeal has become more selective. Yeah, we are not as accessible, I think, as some other music that the two of us have played in the past, and so you're not gonna play the winery, right? We're not gonna go play somebody's
Restaurants.
wedding.
Yeah, you're not doing smooth
Restaurant
jazz on a
bar,
Sunday.
Right, right.
Oh, yeah.
Which we could pull off in the last project. It's not what we do in this band, and nor is I don't think we are yearning for those things. But I say all that to say, even doing that stuff, the payouts were flukes. Most gigs were money losers,
Yeah.
and
Net
that's
negatives.
all. Yeah, they're all net negative. But how much of a net negative is it? I mean, if you go play fantasy football and you don't win, was it a huge waste for the whole time? I don't play fantasy football, but I mean, people's hobbies.
You spend $1,000 for a season membership for golf, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
You're not
time you
getting
go-
money back from that. You don't expect that you're going to join a PGA tour because you put money in
Yeah.
on your golf
We don't
membership.
lug all that equipment around thinking we're going to be millionaires.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I love music.
And
Exactly.
the gigs we've been playing, any payout at all is,
Yeah.
uh,
If I can
Yeah.
get a burger and fries after
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, honestly,
And
those
they say there's no free lunch.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
they're not even
You gotta
beer
sit-
tickets anymore.
You got to sing for your supper.
Yeah. But we've been doing a lot of. I think most of what we've done has been supporting travel bands too,
Yeah.
and so
Sure.
you're trying to make sure that your travel band gets paid out, right? So we're not there to be greedy about what cut of the door we
You're
get.
not sitting there and be like, hey, we need this percentage or anything like that. It's pretty.
We're at least not being taken advantage of by most of the people that we're working with. It's great meeting these travel bands.
It's pretty easy going. And I
We
like
played
it.
with some really cool bands.
Really
Yeah,
have.
we have.
that have come
Met some cool
through.
people.
You know,
That makes it all worthwhile.
it does.
And I think recently, I would give these guys a shout out too on this. Our boys in Space Junk, which is another band that
Space Junk.
to
Shout
the
out.
degree that we sound like we belong grouped with somebody, somehow we're fortunate enough that we sound like we should be grouped with a band that is local to us. So we are kind of a scene of two bands at the moment.
Yeah.
They're older fellas like us too. They're not hungry 20-year-olds. But they play. It's very distinct from our music, but it makes sense that you'd hear it at the same time as ours.
Sure.
And whether we try to or not, man, we share the bill with them every show.
It seems like it anymore.
And that is not a complaint.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
They
I enjoy
played
those
with
guys
us.
very much.
They were a band that came out for us. 'Cause I'm certainly not very plugged into whatever scene still exists locally. These guys aren't really either, so we don't have we don't have a deep contact list for that kind of stuff, but we did know the boys from Space Junk from previously, and so they came out on our maiden voyage,
Our debut show.
our debut
Did,
show,
yes,
They were
did.
kind enough to support us.
and and
Nice.
that was and they showed up. They very much showed up like, no, we're here to support you. This is your guys's. You know, it wasn't just, oh, cool, that they're one of 3 bands that's put together for this bill that we put together. They're like, no,
You guys
this
take
is your
the
guys'
headline
show.
spot.
You guys
Yeah.
are headlining this. We support you. You give us and not that that's surprising from them, but that's typically not how things are handled
Yeah.
when you put these things together.
I'd
And
love to see you guys play at the fair here in town. You get on that stage.
Yeah.
I know that's.
yeah, unless they do a second stage like Lollapalooza
Yeah,
does,
I
don't
think
know.
that goes into what he was saying. We're
Yeah.
not playing any wineries, and that I think fairs fall into that
You never
category
know.
as well.
I feel like
Well-
word gets around enough.
But then again, as I said, we could put together a 25-minute set that would be 100% acceptable for
Yeah.
that stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't see a metal show at a winery, so I wouldn't put it in that category.
I guess the fair has had some metal shows, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
They've
Yeah,
had some
they
big
have,
names
Yeah,
come through there.
Yeah.
they've had some heavier. Now
They
that
have a
I'm looking
different-
back on it,
Gender each night, I think.
Yeah.
Do they?
yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I think
Now
just
that-
about every night they try to have some act out there.
Like
Interesting.
one night they have country and the next night.
Oh, I got you.
I remember, was it like Hinder or something?
Yeah,
Was
man,
there
that
a couple years
that-
ago?
that-
Yeah.
Now that
I feel like
it's jogged my memory. Henders played there.
Chicago
Molly
Transit
Hatchet.
Authority, Molly
Who's Left-
Hatchet,
yeah,
Bob
Who's Left
Evil.
Pop Evil. That's
Yeah.
who
Oh,
I
that's
was trying to
right.
think
Yeah.
of. I saw them in or at the Coliseum, and they rocked it.
They did.
The same thing that we're talking about is they were like the opening band. I think there was a 5 Finger Death Punch show or something, and they were damn near the best band of the night.
That's almost always true.
They're-
you have a
because
hungry
they're-
opener?
Exactly.
I feel
That is the best thing you're going to see. It's going to surprise you.
I've watched Ashes to New go from nothing to, and they opened for. I want to say In This Moment or Motionless Light,
Okay, yeah.
which whatever but In This Moment opened then or was before Motionless, and Ashes to New opened. I think Fit for a King was afterwards, and Ashes just killed it, blew me away. I'm like, why were they not the headliner?
That's happened to me before. I went to
Yeah,
go
dude.
see the Pixies and Franz Ferdinand open for them. I've never even heard, but I've heard of them and heard their hit song Franz Ferdinand. But they blew the Pixies out of the water.
Which is wild. That's a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
They really did. Their performance, their show, the way that the sound guy had it mixed, everything about it was just a little bit better than what.
This also literally just happened to me within the month. Because I went to Detroit to see, the headliner was Death Clock, which is technically a cartoon band
Yeah.
from Metalocalypse,
Adult
right?
Swim.
But they put it on live. The guy that came up with the whole thing puts a band behind him. And then another pretty established metal act, Amonomarth.
Nice.
They're really known for their stage show, right? That was pretty entertaining.
They've been around for many years too.
But the opener, which by the time the show date came around, I was already more excited for the opener. So it wasn't like they took me off guard while we were at the show. There's a band called Castle Rat.
Yeah.
And they only had a 25-minute set, and I wanted another hour and a half out of that. Every once in a while, something comes around that re-inspires me, And then it was the funniest thing is I imported my wife from the Detroit area. I didn't realize that Castle Rat, at least initially the lead singer, was from the Detroit area.
Yeah.
My wife used to work with her.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Like I'm sure that
Small
that
world.
gal seems a lot younger, so they worked at a restaurant together. I'm guessing it was when the lead singer was 15 or 16 that my wife worked with her or whatever. But that band is one of those that's. Do they slot into a genre? I suppose. I think they talk about being doom metal. They've decorated it so much that they're peerless at the moment, I think.
That's interesting that you say, re-inspired, because that's kind of how I felt whenever you showed me Typo Negative. I was kind of searching for some inspiration. When I heard it, I was like, okay, I found it. And then when you get that, that's very, it's a very special thing.
When you hear something new on the road, like say something pops onto the radio, well, that's not going to happen too often. I suppose if you got XM, it's going to happen. Something shuffles on your YouTube playlist that you've got Bluetoothed into your phone, whatever. Something new shows up, and you cannot wait to be in your home to pick up some kind of instrument, because like you're like, no, you're starting to imagine those sounds, those movements. If you've got a good like fretboard vocabulary, you're starting to kind of put together, what are they doing there, while you're unable to touch an instrument. And that drive to go, I want to know how that song got written, so that I can, maybe the next thing that I write will contain some of that vocabulary. I'm probably getting visibly excited about this right now. But that's the kind of thing that, like, it doesn't come around all that often for me. It happens. And it's funny it's funny who's going to do it.
True.
It's not always a metal band.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I've drummed more on my steering wheel than I have on my head over there. So.
Yeah, I'm not a musician like you guys, but I understand exactly what you're saying. I really do.
I find myself more and more, going back to what you're saying, when you hear something on the radio and you kind of, okay, that clicks or whatever.
Yeah.
Pulling out my phone and going, Siri, who sings this? I'm listening.
Right.
Because you don't, if it's a new band, you don't know who it is, unless, we talked about it, they don't have the two notes that are, instantly recognizable.
Right.
Or at least not recognizable by you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When there's things from when I was still in diapers that I listen to now, or probably even before that I listen to now, and I wasn't exposed to back in my youth. And it's the technology age has allowed me to. Nina Hagen would be.
I was
praying
to God that you would bring up
Nina.
Okay, so we'll say back in
Shout out Nina Hagen.
In this house, we love Nina Hagen. If you don't know who she was, she's an East German, classically trained operatic singer who did post-punk pop stuff in the late 70s and early 80s. And I don't love her whole catalog. Like, there's plenty of it that doesn't touch the button for me. But the stuff of hers that touches the button in a way I've never had. I'm just going to start sounding dirty. Touches the button in a way that I've never had it touched before. And one of the things that used to happen is we'd get done playing a set, and one of these guys would either say, well, you want to watch some Devo?
Yeah, you want to watch some Devo?
Or you want to watch some Nina.
Want to watch some Nina? And we just sit here and go through a playlist of one of those two bands. And again, we don't play music that sounds anything like either of those things. Nina's primarily an unbelievably talented vocalist. So, I mean, not that Ben's not a talented vocalist, but this is a woman with like a 78 octave range.
Oh, yeah.
Who just, and I mean, the focus of her music is typically her vocals.
You can tell
The
she's out there having
female-
a good time.
The female David Bowie is that fair?
There's definitely, but that Bowie, unironic glam. Like from the Ziggy. I mean, she even covers that, doesn't she? As one of the big ones.
She does.
Some of her stuff reminded me of Mr. Bungle and Mike Patton.
For sure.
So far out there.
I think that that almost Dadaism.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Lights are running out of batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was my light over there.
No, that one just popped on.
Oh, did it? Okay.
That's-
Yeah. But yeah, I still think that those are things that we weave into. I mean, everything Ulidian's coming out somehow.
Hello, everyone. Get ready to hear another song by Cobalt Crown. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. It's called Reasonable Ghost. And there again, do not forget to leave us a comment and hit that like and subscribe button.
stationary house. You've been a reasonable ghost. You kick and scream and plead, go home. You post emergency, go home. Go home. Yeah, post emergency, go